Congress is that a lot of people talk about the border and they haven't been here. And one of the things that I've tried to do is bring my colleagues out here from Ohio and Louisiana and places like that to see what's really going on. And not only do I have them, whether it's in El Paso or Eagle Pass, I take them onto the other side and see the other side of the border. And every time I'm crisscrossing this district, I spend time going back and forth. And it was funny, I was in Ojinaga a couple of months ago, and I thought I was Beyonce, when I walked in. It was like all these cameras and people, putting microphones in my face, and they're like, Congressman, why are you here? And I'm like, I'm here to have lunch with the mayor. And they're like, are you not worried that it's dangerous? And I said, in my career as an undercover officer in the CIA, I've been in some really dangerous places, and Ojinaga is not one of them. And so being able to try to educate my colleagues on what's happening. But there's also some difficulty in the fight within different agencies. And I'll use one example. It's called the 559 program. Many of y'all know about this. This is the public-private partnership. This is allowing, I didn't realize how hard it was for the federal government to take something for free. Yeah, it really is super hard. We had to pass legislation in order to do that, and there was a program called 559 that was working, and what we wanted to do was make it permanent. We wanted to make sure that our friends here at CBP had the resources they need in order to facilitate all the increasing traffic that's going along the border, and we had some difficulty with that. And this is something that Congressman Cuellar and I worked on really hard. He was involved in the original authorization, and we were pushing in the House side. And one of the problems we had was GSA was concerned that CBP wanted to get in the real estate business, and I like. You obviously haven't talked to anybody from CBP. I think that's the last thing that they want to do. And that was really the last hurdle that we had to get over in order to try to get this program permanent. And so we got it in legislation that passed the House, and Senator Cornyn, who is instrumental, again, in the original authorization and is working on the Senate side to get similar legislation passed and hopefully signed into law so that we can continue to go forward with many of these projects that are going on. The other big, despite the circus atmosphere that we read about in Washington, D.C., some things got done, right? The FAST Act, pretty big deal. Replenishing the Highway Trust Fund for 5 years. Austin did their job in the last biennium. Washington did ours, and the fact that now we have projects all over the state. This is a big deal. Most people didn't think this was going to be able to happen with the kind of acrimony that's happening in Washington, D.C. But we were able to fund it for 5 years. It's the largest funding that we've had in ever. And so it's great being able to play a part of that. And piece of that was the CBI language, the Coordinated Border Initiative that Ms. Montemayor had talked about how communities can use some of their federal dollars for infrastructure projects along the border.